Now, quite frankly, this is what happens when you get cocky. But in fairness, considering the album that we're reviewing today, it does make sense considering the primal instinct that it gives me. And in a way, it does nicely clash with the title of the record, because you are getting what you want. I could talk a fair bit about the progression of Daughter's short burst of anguish to whatever the hell this album is, and believe me, emphasis on hell, but in all honesty, I'm more interested in dunking my arms into this yucky pool of sludge without having to read the reasoning as to why I'm doing it. Alas, I'm just going to talk about why You Won't Get What You Want is just really fucking good. Yes, I'm with the majority on this one. I told you I'm not just some entity that underrates all your favourites from this year. I can enjoy things too. For one thing, Daughter's album here isn't really like their previous work. Quite frankly, if I was able to predict what this would have sounded like to a T, I might as well have sprouted butterfly wings and pelted quail eggs at Duncan Garner's house. But the fact is that the amount of no-wave influence I got out of this Daughter's album was surprising enough for me to start hopping up and down excitedly when the track The Reason They Hate Me started slicing its lead riff into ribbons in the most exhilarating way, as if Daughters had presented you with a devastating postcard showing the destruction of everything you love and care about, but then at least had the balls to draw a pretty frame around it and write the message in cursive. The album might be a glaring racket, but it sure wants to sully some damn catchy rhythms out of all the chaos that's going on, so maybe this portal to hell doesn't look too appalling at all. Oh, never mind, my legs are burning and my eyes are melting out of their sockets. Woe is me. Or should I say wow is me, because I don't know if lyrics have been this excruciating to read since insert artist here renowned for bad lyrics. But the notion of sucking concrete up a straw and having a primary disoriented face that even a mother couldn't love is a difficult pill to swallow, but only in the way that works the best for such a purgatorial hailstorm that band are blasting through your eardrums. So yes, for those of you who hear a lovely song but then reject it later on the grounds that the lyrical prose isn't quite right, don't fret. Daughter's new album is poetic to fuck degrees. Admittedly, the first time I heard the opening track, City Song, with its Alan Vega-esque rumble and battering drums that sound terrifyingly more like body bags hitting the ground, I wasn't convinced despite the menacing atmosphere, but perhaps because I just didn't really know what to expect. Later on down the track, after realizing that I was subconsciously loving what I was hearing on the album, I returned to City Song, and now I just can't stop listening to it. Mind you, this just may be the beginning of my diagnosis for Stockholm Syndrome. The dissonant screeching on the track, Less Sex, sounds like Ben Frost might have hijacked the control panel for a short period of time. The anguished and increasingly more fatigued yelling of Let Me In during the hell spiraling closing track made my face turn colder than the seats at Lauren Southern's New Zealand show, and the Lord's song certainly isn't a charismatic church hymn, I'll tell you that. I mean, you could get energy and angst and pummeling racket out of a noisecore album, but that's not really the kind or subset of it that I get out of this album in particular. Besides, if I wanted to hear Shapeless Hell in audible form, I'd listen to the last Joji record. The rhythm and percussion on this album is a huge part of what makes it so effective, because while it is horrifying and hellish, it is shockingly addictive to listen to. So in case you needed any more confirmation, yes, this album is indeed extremely good. It's a stark and stone cold 9 out of 10 from me, although to be honest, if you were interested before, you probably would have checked it out already.